Okay. So, three things I want to do tonight. One, decide what features we're going to add. Two, decide who's going to be responsible for coming up with the UML use case diagrams and scenarios for those things. And three, assign that. Okay.
Well enough.
So here is the list of ideas and suggestions that Steve included in the write-up. On a side note, I did email Steven asking about the Dungeon Maker. He said it's a great idea, but doesn't really fit for the assignment. So, yeah, maybe something we do on our own time, but not for the assignment.
Mm-hmm.
So, suggested add-ons that Steve included, verbose mode. Add commands, verbose on, verbose off, which will toggle the exit text that currently always appears. Having the exits listed at the end of each room description makes it faster to go through the dungeon, but a real adventure program would probably make the user infer what exits exist from the room description. Excuse me. Hunger. The adventurer's health diminishes by, say, 1 point per turn, and is only replenished by food, enough of which must be available somewhere and somehow in the dungeon. External clock. Some patches of time exists in a way the adventurer can experience. A simple example of this is time of day. As the user plays the dungeon, time will cycle from day to night and back again at an appropriate pace. Randomized weather events would be another colorful choice. Fun fact, the real-life Zork 3 was famous for an earthquake that took place after a certain number of moves, which permanently closed certain underground passages but opened others. That's an interesting thought. Light. Some rooms, not all, will be completely dark to the adventurer unless he has a light source, torch, spy laser, lightsaber, whatever, available and turned on. Light sources are items that are discoverable in the dungeon and which defuel over time, i.e. there's a finite length of how long they last before burning out. It is your option as to whether light sources can be replenishable. It is also your option whether or not to include a group. I never did actually did encounter a guru in the original Zork.
Me neither. I didn't play very long. Also, I made the requirement and then
Right. Crafting. Some items can only be assembled from others, such as you have to sprinkle the magic dust on the sword to make a magic sword capable of feeding a dragon. You can mix the flour and eggs to yield pancake batter, which can then be cooked and eaten to survive, etc. This requires the player to think outside of the box and figure out what combinations of existing items might yield others, and what command or commands would be required to trigger that occurrence. Excuse me. Closable exits. Some exits can be in a closed state and require users to type a certain command in order to open them. Lockable exits. Some exits can be in a locked state and require a certain item or key to be present and or activate in order to unlock them. NPCs, non-player characters. These are characters in the dungeons besides just the adventurer. These characters have their own position, state, inventory, health, and possibly other attributes, and the player can only interact with them when they encounter each other. Having NPCs move around between rooms independently of the player is super cool. Implementing some sort of dialogue, asking, convincing, threatening, trading items, etc., is even more of a bonus. Combat. A combat system enables NPCs to engage the adventurer and each other in battle. You're going to need weapons and rules of engagements to implement this. Bonus points for assessing armament, shields, magic weapons, and items, terrain, strength, and dexterity of characters, the influence of fighting in groups, and or anything else you might think of. These are only examples. There are lots and lots and lots of other things that you couldn't do instead. Grade-wise, I want you to do something reasonably creative and cool for your supplemental features. If you successfully build something reasonably cool, creative and cool, you'll get all the points for the supplemental features. If you have any questions about what constitutes reasonably creative and cool, or whether your creative idea passes the threshold, please ask. Okay. Now, earlier before class, Alex and I were chatting, and we assembled a list of possible supplemental features that seemed more viable for the three of us to do. And those include NPCs, crafting mechanic, Closable, i.e. hidden exits, lockable exits, and light sources.
Those all seem like doable and cool things.
Yeah.
I agree they're all doable. It's just, do you think we can do, all of them by the due date, or do you think that's just the list that we're going to pull from?
That's just the list we came up with.
Okay. Hey, I agree definitely right off the bat with crafting. Like, that's a really cool idea. Pretty easy to implement too, because it's just taking away 2 items from your inventory and putting in a new one.
Yeah. So, but the way you said that makes me sound like you're basically saying that's cool, but I don't think we can do it for the assignment.
What do you mean?
Well, that's what I'm about to ask you. Am I misreading what you're saying and how you're saying it, or?
No. Yes, you are. I'm saying it's kind of
Okay.
easy because, I think, really what it boils down to is since you have to combine 2 items or more to make something, which I guess would be an item, what would mean, I guess, for the code is that when you combine these items, you actually remove them from your inventory to make a new item, which is then added to your inventory.
Right.
Yeah.
My first question there is, how do we implement it? Not code-wise, but just like if we were making a use case. So like you're at the command line.
Mm-hmm.
What command do you type?
Do you want to do combine? And then we do like the items you want to combine. And then if you don't like put enough items to combine, or like if you choose the right items, like it outputs something like saying this creates nothing, or I don't know.
You cannot.
Well, that's kind of what we're talking about. So I don't know is a good place to be right now. So
yeah.
My first question is, do we even want to deal with recipes, i.e. the player just has access to all the crafting ability from the start, or include some sort of system that you have to either learn of the recipe or gain a certain level to make the recipe?
I think that if you pick up the items right off the bat, no matter how many points you have or something, I think that you could craft it. Like if you have the ingredients, you can craft the item. At least that's my opinion.
Okay.
I like that too.
Okay, so just from the get-go, the player knows about, or the game state really, knows about the recipes, and it's just a question of finding the ingredients.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
the player might have to infer, like, you combine the knife and the cake to like find a file inside or something like that, and use that to, I don't know, like things like that. They wouldn't really be very intuitive at first, but like, you can still combine them anyway. I've always wanted to make something like that in the game.
Okay. For the purposes of the assignment, we could probably include an NPC that mentions something about it. Like if the player has eggs and flour in their inventory.
Mm-hmm.
They enter a room with the NPC in it, and who starts talking to him and says, I'd really love to make some pancakes for my family, but I need eggs and flour to do so.
Mm-hmm.
And explain it to the player that way. So that's an option, and kind of a good way to include NPCs as well.
Well,
yeah.
I guess on that topic, my question would be, how do we make it so that an NPC, NPCs they're not loaded from the save file. So, how do you implement NPCs in a program that can have different Zork files that would be different dungeons?
I would make it a separate category, the same way items and rooms are separate categories.
Well, the thing is, didn't he say that? I forgot. I'm trying to find the wording for this, but
There are only two things that we have to include in Zork++, and that is the score and the health.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Everything else is supplemental.
Well, I thought that. Come on, let me just try to find where it says or mentions this. Okay, like I'm having a brain fart right now, but it's like our program, well, everyone's programs is supposed to be able to load the same files.
Right.
Well, not the same save files. He said that.
Not the same save files, no, but the same Zork files.
Right.
Yeah, same initial dungeon.
Right. That's why I'm suggesting making, things like NPCs their own category of items.
Their own category of items. Oh.
Well, not items, but their own category in a Zork file.
Yeah.
So if it loads it, so say it loads a Zork file.
Mm-hmm.
If it finds an NPC category, cool.
Mm-hmm.
It creates NPCs and places them.
Okay.
If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Yeah, okay. I think I see what you mean. So it checks if there's NPCs, and if it does, then it loads them.
Right.
Okay.
That way we can maintain compatibility with Zork files that don't have NPCs.
Mm-hmm.
If not, it doesn't. Okay. Cool.
Okay. And then as far as the NPCs go, I had mentioned using them as a means to explain things to the player. It means communicating with the player.
Mm-hmm.
So trigger events of some sort.
Yeah, maybe we can have a. Did any of you guys run into the thief when you played Zork?
Numerous times.
Yeah.
Really wanted to put his head in the trophy case.
Yeah.
I just don't like how nonchalant it was. Like, oh yeah, he's in the same room, and then bam, check your
by the
inventory,
way, you're
something's
dead.
gone. He never really messed with me, like hurt me or anything, but he did keep stealing from me, like stuff I really needed anyway, too.
Yeah. As I said, I wanted his head in the trophy case. Come back here, little bastard. So, I don't know. Personally, I think doing like a combat system is going to be a bit more than the three of us can do.
Mm-hmm. But I think that light source is also a good idea.
Okay.
It's just, how do we keep track of what rooms would be dark, if we're loading from the save file? I mean, from the Zork file.
Well, again, I would do it as a, a conditional. Have a statement in the Zork file, lighted, true, false.
Mm-hmm.
If it finds that the room is lighted, it marks the room as lighted. Mm-hmm. If it does not find that it's lighted, i.e. there is no lighted Boolean in there, it just
Mm-hmm.
makes it lighted.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah. So definitely, we're doing light sources and NPCs, crafting, closable and hidden exits.
I mean, honestly, well, Alex, what's your vote on NPCs? Yes or no?
Oh, I like NPCs. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I like all the options we've talked about, but that's not me saying I want to do all of the options.
Right.
I'll be honest, I'm a little bit mad that, my paranoia is proven true, and, the dungeon maker is not a good option.
Yeah.
So, that being said, just as a subtopic, this is a project I would like to consider working on beyond this class. Now, since you guys have worked on this with me, I think it's only fair to just say, hey, A, are you interested in it? B, do you have any objections if I continue working on it if you say no?
I mean, I have 2 other classes, so probably actually when this class is over, my other one's in too, because it's all over on the same day, I think.
Yeah.
So I mean, potentially, maybe.
Okay.
And
I mean, basically what I mean is throwing it up on a GitHub repo, making the repo public, and coming up with an idea, implementing it, adding it, saying, hey, I made a new addition to Zorua, or whatever the hell you want to call it.
Mhm.
You know, Zork 2000. You know, but also inviting other people if they want to screw around with it to, you know, play around with it some.
I mean, is there a way to make it so that people can pull from your repo, but they can't like change it as well? I mean, probably.
Yeah, you can just
Honestly,
yeah, you don't add them to the repo as a contributor.
Okay. I mean, yeah. After this class, I'm really trying to, populate my summer with as many interesting activities as possible. But I would like to keep working on this too. I mean, my plans was actually to take what I've learned about making Zork in this class and work on it with another programming friend because we had other gaming ideas and programming before.
Okay.
But yeah.
So, all right. But anyway, so back to the matter at hand. So, NPCs. I vote yes. Alex.
I would also vote yes.
Okay. Dre.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, unanimous on NPCs.
What's that?
I just did unanimous on NPCs.
Yeah. Okay. Crafting. I want to talk about crafting a little bit more before I vote yes or no on that. Alex, do you have any strong thoughts on whether or not you want to do it right now or not? Excuse me.
I think a simple crafting system would be a cool thing to add, and also seems doable within the time limit. But if you want to get like into a big, if you want to have like a set of recipes that like goes past a page long, like I'm sure Zork has with different combinations of items, that maybe would go past this class. But like if there were a couple of instances where you had to combine two things to find this item you need to leave a room or something, or to explore something, then I'd be on board with that.
Okay.
Maybe not.
I swear I can read. Young Dre. Do you have any strong feelings, yay or nay, on crafting right now?
I'd say strongly yay if we implement it as literally just calling in a new item and deleting the items you use to craft.
Okay. So I guess we're still kind of talking about the use case of it. I guess
it's just I think that the key to success for this project would be just doing enough for Steven to consider what we're doing supplemental. What's the word that he uses?
Supplemental.
Yeah. Supplemental, like we're doing enough supplemental features, just enough for him to be like, yes, that is good enough, and you'll get on the supplemental if you implement them right.
That is a fair point.
Yeah, if we do a couple of them, then we'll do them well.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, outside the class, we could have a whole elaborate system. Even have like a whole like cookbook of crafting recipes if you want.
Yeah, that's certainly possible.
Yeah.
All right. So doing NPCs, crafting, exit states, closable, hidden, locked. Yay or nay on the broad concept of that?
I like that.
I'm sorry. What was that, Alex?
I like it. It adds a little challenge, I guess. If you, I guess just I don't know about how. I don't know what the difficulty of it would be voting wise, but it seems like an interesting thing to add in. I can't speak English today.
That's all right. Well, we're not worrying about implementation. We're not talking about implementation code-wise right now. So, if there's something that like jumps right off the page that says, this is going to be a coding problem, yeah, definitely, speak up.
Yeah.
But I don't think we should be talking code right now. Young Dre, your thoughts on statable exits? Statable, sustainable?
like closable or just all the like closable, hidden, and lockable exits? Just
All the
exits in
above,
general?
just broad
Okay.
concept.
So, I mean, I do have a question about hidden exits. It's like, how would we, not how would we code it? It's like, how do we like, how would the player know that it's a hidden exit? Like what would be an example of a hidden exit?
Off the top of my head, I can think of two possibilities. One, we implement a search or examine function. Say there's a bookcase. Search bookcase or examine bookcase. You notice there are scuff marks in the dust leading up to it. So in investigating, you move the bookcase aside and you find a hidden door. Second possibility I can think of, we can include, hints and clues in the room description.
Yeah, that's actually what I was thinking.
That would only be, what's the word? That would only be revealed when the player accomplishes something. Either they do a search of the room, or they uncover something, or they move a specific object. Something like that. You enter the atrium. The room seems fairly large considering there are no exits. There's a rug on the floor and a wine rack against one wall.
And then the first thought of the player would be like, maybe there's a trap door under the rug or something.
Sure, saying behind the wine rack, absolutely.
Yeah, one of those we could. Yeah, I do like that idea.
Okay.
I mean, do you know how? I mean, Zork 1 did it. You know how when you walk into the house, there's just like a rug on the floor, and it doesn't really tell you that. Like there's no inspect command. You can probably, I think you can say like what, like move rug, right?
Something like that, yeah.
I think as far as time wise, and coding wise, I think how we should implement it is, yes, in the room description we should have like say if there's a bookcase, we have like a bookcase with one book saying straight up is at the far left wall. It's like we can just have like the command pull book reveal a secret exit.
Yeah.
And I feel like using the examine, like implementing examine, I don't think that would be too hard. But then again, like if we remove it, it's like another thing we don't have to worry about.
Explain that comment to me.
So like instead of worrying about implementing that extra command, inspect, and then like inspect something, we can just, when you're in the room and you've seen the room description, you can try to do the command like move rug, and if say like you just added a random rug in the room with no exit, just say that, hey, that command doesn't do anything, it's just a regular rug. But if the rug
except we don't have a move command, so we'd have to add that anyway.
Well, I mean, hold up. There's a bug. Ew. Okay. Hold on. Let me look at the. So, do we have to like? Does move have to be a command in itself, or can we make like move rug like its own thing pertaining to the room? I mean, yeah. Never mind. You know what? Bottom of the line, I vote yes for all the exit thing.
Okay. So you're voting yes for closable exits, hidden exits, and lockable exits?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like it'd be, I mean, actually, wait a minute.
I was going to say, like, I'm going to vote no to all of them.
Yeah, I don't know about...
I would like to talk about which one we could implement. But all of them, I don't think we can implement all of them.
I actually feel like lockable exits would be good if you have a combat encounter that's also a chase encounter.
Okay, can you explain your thought process on that?
We'll say you...
I have a thought process on it, but I want to make sure we're not stepping on each other in this case.
Yeah. Like, say you run to the ogre in Zork 1, and you leave the room, right? He just stays there, right? Mm-hmm. What if he followed you, and the only way to get him to stop following you is you lock the exit in a room. I mean, you lock the entrance that you came from. You just lock
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so basically you have one turn of, activity before he follows you through.
Mm. But you know what? I changed my mind. No to all of them. Yes, I agree with you guys now. Less work.
So wait, back up. So you're saying no to all of the exit types?
Yeah.
Or just no to the idea of doing all of them?
I said no to the exit types. Well, you know what? Okay, you know what? This is a hard decision.
Okay, all right, pause it. Let's make this simple.
Yes.
So, closable exits.
Mm.
First thing, what does that mean? I mean, obviously it means an exit is closed. Okay, fine.
Mm. Yeah,
What
how
does
would that
that
be
mean
useful?
to the game or to the player, really?
Mm.
If an exit was closable, it would either have to be closable from the inside or from the outside. And if it's from the inside, then the player would be locked in unless they need like an item or something to get out, with like a key or a spell or something.
I mean, would that also fall under lockable exits?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a lockable is you have an exit, you cannot go through it until it is unlocked.
Mm-hmm.
And would closable exits just mean the same but not unlockable? Just be closed.
Okay. Well, let me put it this way. You're playing the game, you enter a room. The room description comes up. You have exits on the north, south, and east wall. Are they closed exits or lockable exits?
For details' sake, I understand, but I feel like I don't think it's that important for what we're making in this, like right now, at this stage in the development of the game.
I mean, you're not wrong, but what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get my head wrapped around what would a closed exit do in the game. Because right now you enter a room, here's the room description, here are the exits.
Mm-hmm.
What are those exits being closed going to do that's different? You already can't look through an exit into the next room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right.
So, again, what difference does closable exit make?
So right now you're explaining why we just shouldn't implement it, basically.
I guess that's one way to look at it. I'm asking for input, trying to get an idea of what a closable exit is.
I mean, I got nothing. I mean, I agree with you that I don't think I can't. I just think that they don't really add substance to the gameplay.
Okay, Alex, you have any input?
I mean,
I think we're gonna run. I think we have to restart the meeting in about 10 minutes.
Oh.
So.
Yeah. I mean, I still like the idea, but it might be something we have to save for after this class, if if it seems like it'll be that much.
I'm sorry. If what will be that much?
Installing or implementing like closable exits or messing with the exits in any kind of way. If it seems like overwhelming.
Okay. Well, I mean, right now it doesn't seem overwhelming. It seems trivial and nonsensical. That's why I'm asking, like, what would a closed exit do that's different than what the exits do now?
Well, I guess the closed exit would just have something would have to happen for it to close, and then if it's not unlockable, then it'd be closed off the rest of the game.
Okay, but that's a lockable exit then.
Well, yeah, but then if it's closed, then what's the difference?
I guess by closable, he means like, open a door, close a door. You can open a closed exit. You can close an opening.
Again, I mean, right now in the game, when you enter a room, you get the room description, and there are exits on the north, south, and east walls. What about any of those exits being closed would make that description different?
But any of the exits being closed. You see a path to the north, but it's blocked off or something. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Okay.
If something is blocked off and really can't be opened or unlocked in any way, or maybe it could be by something that the player doesn't have control of, like if, or maybe if they somehow trigger an earthquake by making a bomb explode or something, and that opens.
Having too many beans in their chili. Yeah, that kind of makes me want some chili cheese fries now.
Yeah, I guess I'm not. I don't know. I like the idea, and it seems cool to do. So I would vote yes to do it. But
To do the closable exits.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'm still not understanding like what a closable exit is. So
if it's closable, then I assume you can close it off, but then you can't open it again, or else it'd be the same between a lockable and
like collapsing a tunnel entrance.
Yeah, or
Okay.
a monster breaking down the path or something, and you.
Like a bridge falling down or something.
Okay. Okay, so one-time closable kind of thing.
Yeah. Like closable as in like destroyable exits.
Yeah.
I guess. All right, that's another way of looking at it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. With that thought in mind, I actually can't see any way to do a closable exit without also making lockable exit.
Why not?
Well, because the only difference between a lockable and a closable would be you can unlock a lockable.
Yeah.
So if we do closable, it just seems reasonable to include lockable as well.
Yeah. I guess we can distinguish the difference between. We can make them the same type of room, and if a lockable needs like a key or something to open, there would just be no item associated with opening the locked one or the.
Yeah. So have a class lockable, have required item. Have it referred to a string, and when it says, when you try to open the door, search your inventory. Sorry, you don't have the key to open this. But if the item is none, sorry, you don't have the item to open this.
I like be thrown through an exception, I guess.
Possible.
Okay.
So I guess, we're doing closable / lockable exits.
I mean, could we change the word closable to, say, destroyable or removable exits? I feel like it's a little bit clearer, at least for me, just to remember what we've talked about today.
Does that work?
I guess it does.
Destroyable exits, removable exits, closable exits, lockable exit. I mean, okay, I'm not trying to be facetious, but the more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm like, yeah, it's basically the same thing.
Yeah, okay.
Something else we could include, a close message. The ceiling of the cave comes crumbling down the debris, barring the path.
Yeah.
Nothing shy of an act of God will open that. Something like that.
That jaunt closed.
Yeah.
Okay, and that will be another thing that could be on the Zork file, but if it's not, no problem. Okay, and that's really well. A lot of these things will be.
Yeah. Well, I feel like this would just be a message in the exit type or in the exit categories.
Mm.
If it finds a message, cool, we add it to this exit's hash table or this exit's message table.
Yes.
Okay. So don't worry about these anymore. Light source. Now, I am going to kind of throw up a red flag and say we've already got 3 things that we decided to do.
Okay.
I really kind of want to err on the side of caution and say we've got 3 things, 3 team members. Let's not do more than that.
Well, then here's the thing then.
Uh-huh.
Out of these 3 things, do you think that, they are, like, let's say, the easiest to implement, or do you think that the other options would be easier?
Well, I mean, the other options...
Because right now, like, I love the idea of NPCs, but I'm looking at it, like, thinking of, like, implementation and how to do it, and thinking light source, or... Yeah, light source would really pair with like room lighting, like if there's light or if there's not in the room, like that would pair pretty nice.
Right. I mean, hunger would be pretty easy to implement. Every time you move, you lose 1 health. Or we have a counter that counts up to 4, and every time you move, the counter goes up to 4, and when it resets, you lose 1 health or something like that. When you eat a food item, it gives you, whatever HP back.
I mean, I think we should have a counter for hunger, and once hunger depletes, then each move. No, not each. I guess I don't know. We'll figure it out, but it'll have to be balanced. But yeah.
Okay. Well, that's what this meeting is for. To figure it out.
If we're going to figure it out right now, then can I pitch an idea?
By all means.
I mean, we do have less than a minute left in this meeting.
Yeah. So, actually, it's probably a good time for a bathroom break anyway.
Okay.
So, I'll see you guys in, 4 minutes.
Hey, that's one more than Stevens. I'll appreciate that. Thanks.
Yeah, well. Hey, let's just be really nice and say 5. I'll see you at 8:44.
All right. Cool. Bye.